All right, now I'm waiting. I got some things I got to do. I just got to kill a little time first. So I was thinking, geez, if regardless of what I do with this holster, I still have to get belt loops in it. I don't like belt loops that attach to. I like them part of, if you know what I mean. But trying to cut those out with Dremels sometime are a pain in the ass, and drills. Now they do make the drill with a little square punch on it, so that may help. Believe me, I don't know. I can probably look for them, but I haven't got them right now, so I'm going to have to maybe buy a small set. However, I just sharpened this up. That's about 1.5 inches, and I think if I put a piece of leather down here, let me get a piece of leather here. Hold on. Hold on. The camera's probably going to bounce around for a minute because I'm going to hammer on the table here with this leather. Whoop. Right there. So, I'm going to see if this is an object here, if we can kind of make a belt loop with this. Now I sharpened it nice and sharp. Check that out. Got a belt loop. Ha ha ha. Now if I did it on something a little softer, like a maybe a 1/2 inch piece of rubber mat or something, or an old mud flap, which I have around, I would go deeper, making that wider. But there it is. There's a belt loop. Okay. Perfect, huh? Check that out. All I did was sharpen this thing up enough. Now if I want to do a little bit more, what I can do is just sharpen it down into here more, so it'll get rid of some of that bevel. In other words, bring it in this way a little bit more. So I'd have to put it on a good piece of, like a grinding wheel, and then hit it later with the belt sander. But that worked out pretty good, huh? Hey, for sure. Alright, so here's a piece of rubber mud flap. It's a thick one. It's off of a truck. I bought some to make the dog doors, if you remember right, so I got some spare pieces. Then I got that horse mat that I'm standing on, which is like a inch thick. But anyway, this would probably work just fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat up 3 pieces of the worbla, and maybe even a piece of kydex, to see if it's sharp enough to go through it without cracking it, and the same for the worbla. It's just I want to make sure I have the same thickness that I'm working with, so I can use it and try it on a sample piece before I actually drive through here with it. So let's see what happens. Alright, what I did was I took some scrap pieces of worbla. Alright, and I made it 4 thick. Now I'm just waiting for it to cool a little bit, because it's hard, but I want to let it cool just a little bit more to make sure that it's hard enough. And I made it 4 thick because I'm going to be going through some leather too, so we'll see what happens. Alright, now let's see what it does with this. This may or may not go through this, I don't know. Now it's a little tough, but it does go through. Whoops, I'm sorry. But I'm not real keen on it because it tends to want to split it a little bit on the ends, if you can see that or not. So I don't know if that's just the way that I did it or the material I did it on. This seems to work pretty good though for that. I don't know. I don't know if I'd be ready to take a chance on using this on the warbler or not. I'd be probably better off with the drill with the square cut in it. I forgot what they call them, but you guys know what I mean. It's like I say, see that's got that little split in it? So when this went down, it started to split it a little bit because it didn't have enough room to give like the leather does. So I would probably have to, like I say, if I made this thinner, like I intended to, in other words, cut this off here and here so that it's more of a even cut and it doesn't taper. it would probably work just fine. But when it starts to go over this hump, that's when it starts to split, because it's just too wide for this to give. So it can be done. I'm just going to have to cut that down. I just don't know what I'm going to use, because this is hard. And I'll end up going through a couple of, I know I'll end up going through a couple of belts on the belt sander to do that. And hopefully that would work. I guess I can try it with the belt that I have, see how far I get, and if it works, well then I got enough belts to keep going. But it, is it going to become the cost of the belt versus time and everything, versus just me buying something to do it with? We'll see what happens.